Welcome to Boys episode 121.
121.
Our guest's about to join us here shortly. But first, I had a quick story I wanted to share if you guys would entertain me for a moment.
Yeah. I'm all ears.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm walking my dog the other day. In my neighborhood is connected to a much nicer neighborhood that I like to take her right over there because she deserves the best.
Yeah.
And I'm walking along. The road is beautiful ahead of me. There's an arc of trees. It's a beautiful neighborhood with manicured lawns and really cool houses. They're not big houses. They're really nice houses, though. Mm-hmm. And as I'm walking, I look down, and I see at the end of a driveway that had a little bit of sand that was washed there because of the rain.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed there's $1.
Huh.
And I reach down to pick up the $1.
Yeah.
As I pick up the $1, I notice the $1 is just covered in sand and mud.
Yeah.
So here I am carrying this $1 around with me, finishing the walk. This is when the walk first started. So I had a good 20, 30 minutes left in this walk.
Right.
And I got to thinking, what's the grossest thing that could have been on this $1 that I still would have picked up the $1?
Yeah.
Now, I brought the $1 home.
Oh.
I washed the $1.
How did you wash it?
In the sink, of course.
Okay.
With some Dawn.
Okay.
And then you just air dry it.
And I laid it out. And I'm going to pass this $1 around here. I want you to take a feel of this $1. Take a look at this $1.
Okay. I'm worried that I'm getting into something.
No, you're not. That $1's seen some miles. There's it's been run over. So it's like where it's had laid on the asphalt.
Yeah, you can feel some like tread on there. It's torn in a spot.
It is. It's a clean $1.
Clean $1.
I washed it with Dawn and some warm water, air dried it as discussed.
Wow.
But it got me to thinking, what would be if I laid $1 on the table and I reached into my bag of holding and I put a substance on that $1?
Yeah.
What would be the grossest substance that you would still take the $1?
The $1?
One crisp.
Let's do
American
this. Let's
dollar.
go wooden, because there's not a whole lot you can put on $1 that I wouldn't take it, and that sounds really cheap and shitty. Like I really want that $1.
All right, let's start low.
Human shit. I wouldn't take it with human shit on it.
Okay, I said let's start low.
Oh, I thought
But
that was
not that low.
Okay.
Below the belt low. Okay, if I covered it in mud, would you take the $1?
100%.
Of course.
Yeah.
Walk it to the sink, wash it off with Dawn.
Yeah.
100%.
Concrete. What about concrete?
What do you mean?
Like if it was in some concrete.
Some wet concrete?
Some wet concrete.
Oh,
Pre-dried, I would try to get it out. I'll do this. So I would do the stress test. If it easily moved, I'll take it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's step it up. Hair dye.
Yeah.
If it was covered in hair dye and you didn't have any gloves, would you stain your hands for $1?
Yeah.
Sure.
I've had worse on my hands than stain.
God knows that.
Yeah.
All right.
Wow.
Mayonnaise.
I'd eat that shit right up. Here's
Generic
the thing.
mayonnaise.
And I know what you're getting at here. It's the value of $1 has gone down these days in Trump's America. But it's still $1. It's a usable. It's usable currency.
You can buy a can of soda with this $1.
Yeah. Here's the thing. If you imagine this, come with me. Pick up $1. See a penny, pick it up. All that day you'll have good luck. It's $1. It's 100 days of luck, my friends.
Or 100 good lucks.
100 good lucks. There's a lot that could be on that $1 that I would.
Was it face up or face down?
It was actually folded in half.
That's
just like this.
That's double luck.
No, okay, so I bet what went through your mind was, ooh, is that a torn and a half $1?
Yeah, I thought it was a discarded $1, to be honest. Okay. Spit. If I just sat here and hawked loogies on that for 10 minutes.
I don't know. For $1.
On both sides?
Oh, yeah. Coated in loogies.
Yeah, because there had to be one little spot.
Corner.
Yeah, one little corner. And I'd pick it up
spot.
and like step on the grass and pull it out.
Yeah.
And then I'd hold it like this. Like it's just a tip of my fingers.
Yeah, like there's shit on it.
Yeah.
Like the thing, anytime you hold anything there's shit in, like when you change a baby's diaper, you don't just hold it in your fucking hand like it's a goddamn baseball. You hold it with the two little pinchies, like, ugh.
Yeah.
Nothing worse. When my nephew Elliot was a little bitty, changed his diaper a few times, and nothing worse than feeling hot shit diaper in your hand. Like the weight and the warmth.
Yeah.
Nothing
No,
like
you
it.
feel the weight of it and you go, how was this in your fucking body?
And it's got the heat of magma.
It's heavier. I could pick up the child and the shit, and the shit is heavier.
Call it poop. Okay, moving on. Cum.
Is it covered in cum?
Oh, covered in cum.
No, I'm not
Would
touching.
I have to touch the cum?
No.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I'd probably pass.
I'm going to pass. Cum and shit.
Cum stained dollars are not for me.
Cum stained dollars.
That's a B-side, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I'm running out of fluids here.
I feel like
pee-pee. How about pee-pee?
No, I wouldn't take a piece.
I don't know. I feel like I would take pee-pee over cum. I'd probably also take shit over cum. But vomit. There's something about vomit.
No, I can't. In anything. If I saw a $20 bill and vomit, I wouldn't grab it. If I saw a $100 bill and vomit, I'd seriously give it some thought.
I'm picking it up with my mouth.
No, dude. I'm talking like diamond ballroom bathroom. It's just in the corner and just piles of vomit, and you could barely see the trace of the bill hanging out of the corner.
But you knew it was 100?
You see 100.
Yeah, you can see the 100 on the corner, and that's all you can see.
Oh, I'm picking up that dollar.
Yeah, I'm
$100.
$100?
Okay.
Well, I'm going to keep this dollar.
Yeah.
Frame it.
I'm never going to spend this dollar. To me, I don't know. I've been kind of down in the dumps lately. I've been kind of like depressed.
Yeah.
Why? Why are you down in the dumps?
Just honestly, no reason.
Really?
Sometimes just life catches up with you and you just get really overwhelmed with things.
Yeah.
And it's not one thing. It's like a little bit of everything.
Maybe it's the changing of the seasons.
It's a lot.
Song
I mean,
too,
there's
right?
that. There's work. There's family stuff. There's all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, sometimes it just gets to be a little too much. But when I found this dollar, I got so happy. It was like this little thing, even though it was covered in dirt and it's seen better days. It made me smile. It made me feel really good.
Yeah.
And I was just carrying around this dirty dollar.
Yeah.
It was covered in mud and it was just disgusting, but there was just something about it that made me feel so happy.
It's a metaphor for...
I think it is.
Yeah. I mean, just because a dollar is covered in dirt doesn't make it less of a dollar.
Damn.
That's fucking genius from the whiz kid over here.
Yeah. Out of the mouths of babes. We're going to get to the show, but first, some quick ads. BoysPodcast.com. It's a hub of all things boys. There you will find links to our Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and more. BoysPodcast.com.
Boys Podcast is available on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, YouTube, wherever you get your podcast. Please rate, review, subscribe, and share it.
Email us at boys@boyspodcast.com. Feedback equals stickers.
Thank you to our sponsors, Fat Bison, maker of high-quality wooden items for your home, office, and more. Check them out at fatbison.com.
I can't. That was too good. That was too damn good. That last one was real good.
I've been practicing.
Lastly, thank you for your donations. Clicking that golden donate button on the page. It's very important. All the feedback we've been getting on those fucking question posts.
Dude, they're killing it, man. They're going viral.
Are they?
No.
Oh, boy.
They're getting there. Dude,
Speak-
persistence is the key.
Speaking of sponsors, an oldie may be returning.
We might
Nice.
have the prodigal son of sponsors
Coming on back.
returning. So we'll keep you updated on that. Crossing our fingers, our toes.
Crossing our dicks.
Crossing 3 dicks.
It's like a braid. Braiding our dicks.
That is a visual I could have went my entire life without thinking.
I'm going to go Google dick braid.
It's got to be a thing.
Dick braid? Yeah.
A dick braid.
Yeah.
Lastly, yes, as Josh started, I'm going to finish. Thank you for the donations, the feedback, the likes, the shares, the in-person feedback, the cyber feedback, the oral feedback. All of it. Thank you. Now back to the show. Okay, so I got to start out tonight's episode with a story. We have our guest Parker Cowan's here tonight, which was a recommendation by a listener, Jill Glevin. Hope I'm not butchering that last name.
It's Gelvin.
Gelvin. Oh! I had it written down.
No, Rob, you almost had it, but you never fail to make an ass.
That is true. When you are as adored as we are, it's hard. There's so many names. There's so many names to get
Well,
mixed up.
and we can't all be perfect.
Jill Gelvin.
That's right.
Got it. Gelvin, Jill, thank you. Appreciate you introducing us. We reached out via email, and we're doing this tonight. I do have to start it off with a quick story, though.
Okay.
The boys are not aware of this. Welcome to Boys, episode 121, by the way.
I was completely unaware.
Oh, 121. Great band.
Sure. Yeah. One of my favorites. So yesterday, I called in sick to work. I was feeling crappy. Long story short, I stayed home from work. A well-deserved day off.
It was weird. It caught me off guard.
It did. Yeah. You came in like, what the fuck? Is it Sunday?
Yeah. I have a second story too, because I got fucked up all weekend because of this house, things happening in this house.
Yeah. It's weird. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. We'll get to that. So I'm home yesterday. I am slumming it. Felt like shit. I was in basketball shorts, like some terrible low-cut black socks, just a big T-shirt, a hoodie, and I start getting these text messages around, what was it, 5 o'clock or so?
Yeah.
Let's say something like
say
that.
Yeah.
And it was like, hey, man, we still meeting up tonight? I'm at the I'm about to get into the airport. Traffic's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck? I thought maybe I was being punked. I thought maybe a buddy of mine was like fake texting me or something.
Yeah.
And I don't respond. Now I'm selling a few things on Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist, bass, some effects,
Sure.
a bass amp. And I'm thinking, did I fucking make a deal I totally forgot about?
Did you Ambien Craigslist deal?
That would, no, never done that yet.
Yeah.
And so I don't respond. And I'm like, okay, because at first I thought it might just be a wrong number. And I was like, I'm not going to get into that weird texting somebody back that I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And then another text comes through. Hey, I'm here. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I look out the window like a crackhead, like nobody should be here. And I see a car outside. Lo and behold, Parker shows up yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh,
We had a little mix up.
We did.
And he came in, he came yesterday, and I walk outside and I'm just like disheveled. I'm wearing socks and my Birkenstocks. I got greasy hair. I didn't know who the hell was standing on my door because I've never seen him before.
Right.
And I come out, and as soon as I hear you talk, I'm like, oh, who the fuck is this?
Yeah.
And then I think I said something like, who are you? Or
your genuine concern was I was here to purchase something.
Yeah.
And I looked terrible. I had just come from the airport. And I didn't know what day it was because I just spent a week in Chicago. And I have children who have ruined my perception of time. So it could have been Tuesday. It could have been Saturday. It's all just like one blended, exhausted mess these days.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, and Dylan was home. So Dylan lives here. He has a studio apartment out back. And I thought about just texting Josh, be like, hey, bro, you want to come over and do this right now? Our guest is here 24 hours early, but perhaps we could make something out of this.
It's that English promptness.
It's very prompt. The most prompt. But yeah, so little mix up. Thought it was kind of funny. Sorry about that. It was nobody's fault. I think
It was 100% my children's fault.
It was your children's fault.
Cool. We can blame the kids.
Yeah.
Rad.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, they're not here to, defend themselves.
Yeah.
And they're fucking kids, so, whatever.
They mess
get
things
over it.
up.
They'll get over it.
They'll grow out of it.
Yeah.
But you're back.
Yes.
And I thought you had a really interesting story, man. We'll get into that as we go throughout the night. But how you guys doing?
Good. Short fucking weekend.
Yeah.
It was just it was a normal weekend, but it feels like I don't know what it was, man. Like it got like someone just slammed on the fucking brakes.
Well, you
know
had
what I mean?
quite a weekend.
I had
Did a little traveling.
Impromptu two-nighter. Didn't plan on it.
With
It
your
was good
favorite band in the whole wide world.
I
Are
would-
they still your favorite
I would
band?
have to say, after spending much time with them, then yeah, I will have to go on a limb. The trio's out the door.
Uh-huh.
MXPX is taking up the reins.
The
Who's the
Kings.
trio?
Alkaline Trio,
Alkaline
I'm
Trio,
guessing?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
And MXPX will take up the reins on that. Just because, I've first band I ever got into when I was like 12 or 13, and the only band that I've consistently listened to for 23 years.
Yeah. And now you get to hang out with them. Your buddies with them.
Yeah.
That's cool. I think about that all the time in my line of work. Like when I got to meet the guitarist of my favorite band, I thought, man, 5 years ago or 10 years ago, or when I was a kid listening to this band, did I ever think I'd be sitting here talking to this guy about effects pedals? Super cool. Super cool. So do you like music?
I love music. Before I moved to Oklahoma, it was everything. My absolute everything. My dream was to be that band that you'd only heard of if you were really fucking cool. And even then you would pretend like you didn't like them.
Right.
And I just was in bands my entire adult life.
Oh, you were?
I was. And then I moved to Oklahoma, and the pretentious, wanky kind of music I like is not really played here. So I gave up and strip instead.
Yeah, so
Hell
music
yeah.
is still a big part of your life.
I know. I'm intrigued. What do you consider pretentious, wanky?
I like over the top, weird rhythm, lyrics that don't make sense, bands that would produce one album, don't make it, or by the time they've made the second album, no one likes them anymore.
Okay.
Like,
Okay.
I like a good example. There's my favorite band broke up after 2 albums. I was genuinely heartbroken, but relieved at the very same time because it's a lot to process, like on an emotional level, super amount for me to process. But that band is the single reason I didn't want to write songs anymore. I remember playing and writing songs. I was like, fuck, man, I'm awesome at this. And then I heard this band. They were called Dry the River. And I just can't write like that. And I can't sing like that. And I can't make melodies like that.
I totally feel you, man.
And it was just enough to like, nope, can't do it anymore. Can't do that.
Yeah.
I got to the point in life, because I played guitar and played in bands since I was 14, and it only recently was I like, I'm just not as good as these other people, so maybe I should just focus on being a decent human, having a decent job, making sure my bills are paid, and that's okay. I never thought I would have been there, but now that I'm there, I'm like totally comfortable with it.
I think you have to, is when I got to the age, I remember being like in my 30s and I just left our label. I was on a label and we left this label and we went to this new label, but we had to have a new band. And the label were like, hey, we've got this bassist for you and we have this drummer for you and we have this guitarist for you. I was like, awesome. They're amazing. Brilliant. And then these 3 guys walked into this room and 2 of them were 17 and one of them was 19 and I was 32 or 33 and I was like, what the fuck?
Dude, pulling the Paul McCartney there.
Super weird.
Yeah.
And I was just like, okay, I'm never going to make it. I'm not going to make it. Like, if this is what it is, I'm not going to make it. So I really enjoyed the next like 18 months of touring and festivals and stuff like that. But then when I moved over here, I didn't want to start at the bottom, if I'm honest. And I went to a few shows and the music here is insane, like amazing. And the venues are cool and the people are cool, but just didn't want to be an old man in a new young man's game, I suppose. I was never going to establish myself the way I wanted to. And
Well, wait, how old? Like, it's rude, but how old are you?
I'm 38.
Oh, dude, I'm 37.
You don't.
Yeah.
36, 30, yeah.
That's the thing is like, I'm 25.
Yeah, baby boy over here.
You guys, no one else here looks their age at all. Like, you could just be like, I'm 28, and they'd be like, okay. I mean, especially here, like, as soon as you talk, they'd be like, yeah, no, we're good. Like, but
Are you suggesting he lies about his age and starts a band?
uh-huh.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it could be
Fair
a
enough.
movie. It'd be rad.
You can get everyone's criminal record and search everyone on the internet.
Oh, yeah.
I just think that
It's a
maybe
Google search away.
Yeah.
Just don't tell them your real name.
I've never thought about that, though. You always hear, oh, don't put anything scandalous on the internet because your
Yeah.
next job will
Yeah.
Google. I've never thought about bandmates. Like, I
Yeah.
better check this guy out. Whoa, he's naked.
Yeah.
Or half naked. So how long have you been here?
I've been here for 5 years.
Okay.
Like my wedding anniversary is in a couple of weeks, and so I've been back and forth just over 5. But I moved here 5 years ago, and strangely enough, got my green card, my 10-year green card on Friday. That should have been like a 2-year process, but it took 5 years.
Really?
Yeah, and a lot of money and shitting my pants during election time because I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Right.
I bet that's like incredibly scary.
It is, and it's difficult because everyone's immigration conversation is always about someone who has really struggled to get here.
Mhm.
And without sounding like a total dick, everyone always says to me, yeah, but you're English, so you don't have anything to worry about. And I didn't really, I just had to wait.
Right.
So it was a weird experience because everyone's immigration experience is really different to mine. And mine's laced with just everyone thinking I'm from the royal family and I should just walk through the front door.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
I just imagine being from overseas, coming to Oklahoma. Like, I feel like it's got to be different than like living in LA or New York City, where there is a little more
Right.
influx of culture and people. Like, I don't know, man.
Well, I would think even so, like coming from England to Oklahoma, it's still a culture shock, but on a totally different level of
Right.
like, here's this and okay, because as an outsider, like I mean, I've lived in Oklahoma pretty much my entire life. I've lived in California for a little bit, Texas for a little bit, but it's kind of all the same thing. So What was your initial take once you got here?
As I stepped off the plane, I was like, fuck me. It's midnight and I'm sweating my tits off.
Yep.
Like, I think my initial thought, and I remember it because my wife picked me up from the airport and we drove to her apartment, or our apartment, I suppose. And the highway was dead. Like, no one was on it. I'd never seen a 5-lane or 4-lane highway before. There was no one on it. It was boiling hot. And you could just see everything, like for miles.
Yeah.
Even at night. And I was just like, what the fuck is this? And we drove up to the city. And I remember the skyline consisted of like 5 buildings. And I was like, this is not a city.
No, if you look from, it just looks like a middle finger.
Yeah. And
Because of the what's the new building?
The Devon
Tower.
Tower.
It literally looks like a middle finger, and I'm like, and yeah, it's crazy. I'm not a world traveler. I really haven't traveled that much in my life, but recently I have quite a bit, and it makes me kind of appreciate Oklahoma more. Like, dude, California is cool as hell. Like, I would love. Well, I don't even know if I'd love to live there. I like to visit there.
Yeah.
I like Denver. I like Nashville. All the places I've been. It's cool, but when you go away, you really appreciate kind of how easy it is here. I feel like it's not as cutthroat as maybe a bigger city.
I think when I meet people and they're like, the big question is always like, why Oklahoma? And there's a few good answers. Number one, my wife is fucking hot as shit. Like, she is so
I agree. Let's just put that on the table. She's a very attractive lady. Yes,
she
and
is
talented.
She's talented and a level of hot that I wouldn't even talk to a girl like that in England. So
Batting out of your league, man.
Way out of my league. But I think what really, I came here and I remember going to like, say, 10 bars in a week. But they were all different. The crowds were all different and everyone was super nice. And I remember eating out like every day. And I never ate at a chain restaurant and I never ate the same meal twice. And I met loads of cool people and I went to loads of cool shops and we drove around a lot. And it was just there was nothing bad. Like, and everyone I spoke to, I could get into a debate about where was the best cup of coffee or where was the best cheeseburger. And it was just like passion screaming from people about these like really irrelevant things, but they're massive here. And I remember going home and then a week later after going home, realized I'd eaten the same meal like every day. It was just packaged in a different store. And I just really connected to this independent culture and just walking around and seeing people with like OKC, not Thunder or like football, sport, ball, whatever the t-shirts are, but like just OKC t-shirts. And I've been to LA and I've been to New York and Denver and whatnot, but that just doesn't happen there. Like, that's specific to Oklahoma.
Yeah, I mean, you see, like, it's like the tourist thing in like New York. It's been the big thing, the I Heart New York thing.
No.
And yeah, there's a ton of places and artists that make T-shirts that are solely Oklahoma based. Either it's like the Buffalo, or it's just OKC, or it's like the Lightning for the Thunder. It's like subtle ways of I guess representing the state and the city, but also in a really cool way that you kind of want to wear it. And it's a lot of pride in a state or a city where there's. But hearing you say that, I never thought there'd be a whole lot to be proud of. It's like, when you hear it's like, this place sucks, man.
Yeah, it's boring. It's flat.
Yeah, but then you think about that, like there's some chains, but there's a lot of independent businesses that are coming up and thriving in a city because people are hungry for it. No pun intended.
On my anniversary last year, I was like, shit, I'm going to take her somewhere like real nice. Because I have to try really hard, mentioning back to my comment that she's way hotter than I am.
Dig in there.
So I went on to Yelp and I like just put it in like order, like label, like show me the best restaurants. I got 700 restaurants deep. And I hadn't come across like a Burger King or a McDonald's at that time. I was like 700 restaurants deep and exhausted. Yeah. Like worn out, still didn't know where I was going. But that blows my mind. Like,
where'd you end up going?
Please say Del Rancho. No, we went to Jones. It just opened. Really cool.
Jones Assembly.
Yeah, really cool. Like, and it's little things like that. That's an amazing place. Amazing music venue. Great bar. Well, great bar.
very large bar.
Very large.
Yeah.
Great in size.
Yeah, and very like, and very like, that wouldn't look out of place in any city in the world, but it's just this like hidden gem.
Yeah.
It's not like that hidden, but you walk into it, you don't expect that. And Oklahoma is full of that.
Mhm.
Full of rad shit that you just don't expect.
See, I'm in like this weird pickle right now because, like they know, like I'm in a band, but these two girls that I'm in this band with, they hate where they live, and they live in Tulsa, and I'm from Tulsa, and I love Tulsa, and I moved here when I was 18, and they're talking about like, how they want to move from Oklahoma, and I'm like, nah, I'm not moving. Like, if you guys want to go, tight, but like, it's really stupid if you want to do that, and they don't get it. I'm like, look, for one, Oklahoma's cool. It just is, and the people here are, like, there's good people.
Yeah.
Unless you're like a jerk, I guess it seems like. And also, like, if you're in a band and you want to like tour in like North America anyway, right in the middle.
Yeah, you just make a big loop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just,
All the way around.
imagine-
Anyway, you want to
Yeah.
go
Yeah,
north,
like-
south, east, west.
Imagine like if you're in California and you want to do an East Coast tour. Good fucking luck. You're
Yeah.
driving. Where are you gonna start? You're
Yeah.
we're gonna start in Florida and go up. It's like, okay, it's 24-hour, 25-hour drive from Oklahoma to Florida, and you're
Well,
in
yeah.
California now.
Yeah.
Are you gonna drive 2 days?
Well,
Yeah.
mostly
Nah.
what independent bands like bands that aren't on labels that can afford to fly them out, they'll rent vans or whatever to go out. But if you have enough money behind, you're losing so much money just getting to start a thing that
Yeah.
you're gonna lose money on.
Right.
It's like initially going, well, fuck this.
Yeah.
But yeah, like from here, you kind of can do that with bands, with being like an actual artist in any spectrum, a physical artist, a painter, a burlesque performer. You know, you can kind of do a lot of that. And when I found out that you were part of that burlesque troupe thing, there's a couple around. I think there might still be like two. Which one are
I perform with the Dust Bowl Dolls.
Dust Bowl does? Those like
That's the
that's
way
pretty
better
much that's the
one.
one.
That's the
no,
better
no.
one.
I'm saying they're for.
I'm gonna
there's-
say that's the coolest.
Okay,
name.
so
Right.
so back in the day, we had roller derby was really big, and it kind of died out.
Yeah.
And then I think what blossomed kind of out of that was burlesque, and there was a bunch of different troupes doing the thing, and they're all kind of supportive of one another. And then it's kind of just fizzled out. And Dust Bowl was the one that was there from the beginning that kind of stuck with it, and like I think probably puts on the best show. There's another one. Oh, the queer punk one. What is what I'm thinking of?
Bang Bang?
Bang Bang.
Yeah, Bang
yeah.
Bang queer punk. That's another.
And
That's a fun one.
The lady who runs that, Cassidy, she is in the Dust Bowl
Yeah.
Dolls as well.
It's
Cool.
it's like
And that-
symbiotic kind of a thing.
And that's really really cool to see these two like contrasting performances, and everyone just gets on. And I think that's what OKC does immensely well.
Mhm.
If you're an artist, and it doesn't matter if you're what your art is, everyone gets behind you. Like no one really stands in your way. And I think everyone can say nice things about everybody else. And I spent 30 years in London pretending like I hated everything.
Right.
You know, like, I heard of this band? Nope, never heard of them.
It's got to be insane, though, to kind of make a fresh start at that age, though.
It is.
You know, we've talked about like changing schools when we were like in high school and stuff, but to be able to start
Right.
over in your 30s,
It's like being a teenager again. You know, when you're
sounds
like,
rad.
you think that it's like being a teenager again, but you're like, hot all the time and tired all the time. And
Right.
Your back hurts.
But you know yourself better. You know.
And you can't stay out late because you're like,
And it's strange because I never thought I'd have to learn about medical healthcare and insurance and buying a house and paying tax. Like, I just had lived as an adult, and I knew about what that was in my own environment. And I moved here and thought I was super smart, and I didn't know anything. I remember like doing our taxes the first year, and I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, don't they take this out of my
Hey,
paycheck?
man, don't
Like,
worry about it because no one knows how to do that.
yeah,
shit.
I've been doing my own for 10 years now, and
Yeah.
every year I'm just like, I feel like I'm just starting over.
Yeah.
Like,
You
what
get
the
that
fuck?
You get the form and you're like, okay, if I fill this out wrong, I'm going to jail.
Right.
But I don't know how to fill this out
Which
right.
I have for many years. So it's just a
Yeah.
matter of time before the tax man comes a knocking,
Yeah.
and this show is over.
Or the best part is when you fill out your taxes and they're like, this is how much money you're getting back. This is what happened to me. And I was like, oh, wow, I get money back for the first time. Hell yeah. And then I get a little letter and they're like, hey, man, not only do you not get this money back, but you owe us $15. And I was like, fuck you, $15?
Yeah.
I was going to make this. Like, you're a jerk. But it happens. Like, I don't know. It's super weird. And I don't trust it. But you have to.
Yeah, sitting in that accountant's office, and he's like, "Do you drive to work?" I'm like, "Yeah, obviously, because no one walks here ever."
Yeah, everything's so spread
And
out.
he's like, "Well, do you keep a log of your gas?" And I'm like, "No." Okay. Well, do you buy your own shirt for work? Yeah. And it just feels like I'm doing something really shady.
Yeah, I was going to use the same word. It seems
Yeah.
very shady. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I can write off my cell phone. Sure. What about all the like
What's silly is
Instagram I looked
you
at on it?
can, though. And
Yeah.
like, if you drive to work, you shouldn't have to. I mean, honestly, really, you shouldn't have to pay for it because you're driving to a place that doesn't pay you to, it's like
The
I don't know.
commute.
Yeah.
I feel, I mean,
Yeah. I mean, I get it and I don't.
Yeah,
It's like,
exactly. It's a gray area.
yeah, when someone tells you, like, well, why didn't you log it? That's stupid. Why didn't you log it? You can get this money back. It's like, I don't know. I'm just fucking driving my car, to work.
Well, cause no one ever tells you that. No one, it's not something they teach you at a young age of like, now keep a hold of all your gas receipts and because at the end of the year, you might get some of that back because you're not taught that. But on the other hand, like the punk rock side of you should be like, fuck the government, man. I'm going to fuck them back at any chance I can get. What's that? I can write that shit off. I'm writing everything off I can.
And then
Yeah,
you
nothing's more punk than getting a receipt for your lunch.
Hey, those burritos, I need a receipt for that shit. That's a luncheon. That's a luncheon.
Yeah, those are on Uncle Sam.
Yeah. I didn't start collecting receipts until now. Like, until I did, like, my podcast thing. Anytime I get a drink or a snack or go to lunch, if I'm around the office, I keep that receipt because I'm just like, yeah, I'll write it off. I'll try. Like, I mean, because my grandmother, she told me to keep all my receipts forever in a shoebox. Never did until I turned 25. Then I was like, oh, maybe it's time to try.
When I
doing that.
when I was younger, I would hear people do that. Do you want a receipt for your lunch? I was nerd. Why? What the fuck? No. Yeah. Now I get it, and I've been tracking my expenditures and what I make and bills and everything for years now. And you're damn right I write off my cell phone because I use my cell phone constantly for work. So I write that shit off.
Yeah.
But definitely feel shady.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And a really weird thing to learn in your 30s.
Right.
Like, I just thought it came out my check and I was done.
Yeah.
And then I had to learn the difference between federal and state. And I was like, fucking hell, they love taking your money, don't they?
Oh, they
They
do.
really do.
Yeah.
Well, because you got your income tax,
Yeah.
and then you got your sales tax, and then you got your liquor sales tax. If you go get a beer or God forbid you get a Jack and Coke somewhere or something,
Yeah.
and
You
just
got to
at
pay for those
every turn.
tanks, man.
Yeah, at every turn they get you.
So how did you get into the boylesque? Can we call it that? Is that corny?
No, it's not corny.
What should I call it?
I
burlesque?
just call it burlesque.
Okay.
I think it's like everything. Everything has to have like a really individual title now.
Of course.
And I was thinking that on the way over here. I was listening to The National, and I remember the guy from The National describing their genre as literature pop, and I was like, "Fuck me."
Yeah.
But, and it's the same. It's the same as boylesque. I guess it's
cute,
It's
but it's
cute,
not.
yeah.
It falls under the larger umbrella of a burlesque
Yeah.
performer. So how did this come into your life?
I
Did this cross over with the band thing at all, or was it two totally separate things?
It was two totally separate things. I remember coming here, the first show I saw my wife performed at, and I proposed to her because she was.
We're like,
right then.
yeah. Wait.
Wait.
Did
you meet
I
her
was
that
like, dude,
night?
that's
No.
fucking baller.
I don't know you, but
It was
put
it
a
was
ring on that shit.
it was the second time I'd come, but we had already planned a wedding. Like for me to date my wife, I had to get married. Like that's just the truth.
Okay.
But I came to this show, totally blown away by it. If you're in a band and you do well, they'll cheer for you at the end. If you're doing burlesque and you take your top off, they'll cheer for you for every item of clothing that comes off, every crowd interaction, and the like sad praise junkie that we all are. That's just the best thing in the whole wide world.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I never really saw myself standing up there doing it. And there's an awesome art exhibition called Biting the Apple. And they wanted to do an all-male show. The theme of that show, or of that particular year, was male nudity. So they tried to do this all-male show, but as you can imagine, in Oklahoma, there aren't that many male burlesque performers.
Right.
Or there definitely weren't at the time. So my wife just volunteered my services. And I really just thought that she thought I was going to get up there and awkwardly take my clothes off, but as long as I said, "Hi, my name's Parker,"
Right.
at the end, I would charm the pants off everyone. So I went and I did this. It was a 2-night show, and I did 2 nights. I did 4 songs. I did the same songs both nights, and I didn't learn a single thing. I tried to choreograph it, just nope. Like, I choreographed it in my living room, which I felt like a total wanker.
Just like a full-length mirror in front of you. Like,
I did. We kind of had that, and it was like this apartment complex, and everyone could see in. And
Did you have a moment where you're like, should I be doing this?
it was round the time I was piecing together costumes, and I like say to my wife casually, I don't know if I'm going to borrow a thong of yours or should I go buy my own. It was at that point I realized what I was doing.
Dude, you should borrow one of hers and put it on backwards.
so when
Get
you
all the cheers.
I've seen a few males do burlesque, and my thought is same thing. I think with the ladies. So do you start undies first? Like, do you plan undies first and then out, or do you go like say it's cowboy themed and you got that? Do you get like a leather thong or something? I don't know.
No, legit question. When I first started, I was like, I need a costume because
Persona.
You have to think, you have to have a persona. And for me, for ages, I didn't think that deeply into it. I just tried to pick a song and a costume. And the first time I did it, I didn't really evaluate the situation very well. And I know this because 30 seconds into the first song I did, I had removed all my clothing, and the song was 4.5 minutes long. And now,
And now 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, I got nothing else to take off.
Yeah.
What do I do?
At that point, I started
Legally, anyway.
putting clothes back on, and then
Hold on. Okay.
No,
So you took-
if you would have done it in rewind, like reverse, that would have been some next level shit.
That's fucking great. You're like, all right, 30 seconds to take it off. I'm going to take another 3 minutes to put it back on.
It
For
was
you.
It was kind of that. It was more along the lines of I took each item off and I did it really quickly, and then I bumbled my way around the audience, and then I kind of like didn't really know what to do, and I did this for 4 songs. And then I'd never paid attention to it, but I'd gone to watch a few shows and I started seeing what people were doing. And there is a definite male privilege of male performers. That I don't think as much is expected from us.
Mm-hmm.
And I certainly don't think that we need to try and be attractive. I certainly don't think we need to have rock hard abs and,
Right.
and I certainly don't think we need to be beautiful or anything like that. But on the other side, there is a complete disadvantage. Like, you're never going to be on the poster. No one wants an average looking bloke on the poster.
Right.
You're never going to be that talked about unless you're a good performer. So it was really safe for me. Like, I could just hide in the background. And I went to watch a bunch of people, and I realized I hate saying this. I'm a good dancer.
Yeah.
So for ages I tried to dance, and I did, and I was dancing, but try taking your clothes off and dancing. Like, I was doing 2-minute songs, like Hit the Road Jack and stuff like that. Anything that were like 2 minutes, bish bosh bosh, clothes were off, hadn't killed my performance, and out I went. And then the turning point was I was trying all this like classic stuff, trying to be classic, I guess. And I'm just not like that. I didn't really know how to find this persona. I had my burlesque name, and I was performing in this incredible troupe because the Dust Bowl Dolls are incredible. I mean, I've seen the best Vegas shows, and I've seen dive bar shows, and I'm telling you, like, with absolute belief that the level of performer for the Dust Bowl it's professional level. Like, you go to Vegas, you might see a couple of fans or something different, but you're not seeing a different caliber of performance. So I didn't have to be that great because everybody else was, and I really felt like I was just filling gaps. But I then figured it wasn't about the costume for me, and it wasn't really about the song. It just, if I was going to be remembered, I had to find a way of making people laugh and not taking it seriously. Like, I couldn't pretend to be sexy. I'm tiny.
Oh, that'd be the worst.
Yeah.
That would take me out of the moment.
Yeah.
I think that I would enjoy it more, male or female,
Yeah.
if there is a little bit of fun to it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, a
like,
little jocularity.
yeah, like I don't want to cringe.
I feel like that,
you know,
anytime I've seen like a male every once in a while, the queer punk, they'll have a couple dudes that'll come up and like you said, None of the dudes are fit.
Yeah.
It's just they come out but the ladies love it. Doesn't matter what you look like.
Yeah.
I feel like it's just like with anything, really.
Mhm.
If you can tell that someone like loves what they're doing, you know, like fat, thin, cool, not. I mean, it's just like, man, if you like what you're doing and you're putting time into it,
Mhm.
people know and people love it. Like,
Yeah.
and that's how you're gonna get encouragement, not just thinking that you're hot shit and you're gonna coast on by, you know, because
Yeah.
then it's just like, why are you even doing this, man?
I mean, I've seen a lot of performers or a lot of people come to our shows and they're like, wow, I want to do that. And they come up to you at the end of the show like, oh, I want to do that. And you're like, here, awesome, here's our card, get in touch. And you never really hear
Right.
from
yeah.
95% of them ever again. Because
Yeah.
when they wake up and they're sober and they realize it.
Yeah, they have that liquid courage of like, I can do that.
Yeah.
It's like, ugh.
Have you ever had somebody try? Like a
Oh.
drunk young man that's
Yeah.
trying to impress his friends or his girl, and like, look, I can do that too, and gets
Yeah.
up there and like makes an ass out of
It's
himself.
always the guy that stumbled over from Fassler Hall with his North Face
yeah.
hat
I
on
s-
backwards.
I see him in my head
Yeah.
right now. Probably some flip flops, some cargo shorts.
man.
Yeah.
He's in shape, but not totally in shape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think he always opens up with, well, I'm not gay, but,
Oh
you
my
know, like,
gosh.
awesome, cool.
Yeah.
Have another Bud Light, mate, and enjoy the show.
I'm gonna go on with my hot wife.
Yeah.
Peace, bro. After I do this great dance for people.
Yeah. I mean, what I had to realize very quickly was like I needed to just make people laugh. And I perform very deadpan, but I definitely know it's like a very comical based thing. And I realized that if I was slow and very crowd involved and a little bit dramatic, I really didn't need to choreograph anything. As long as I knew the song, I kind of found my niche pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And the byproduct of that is I ended up getting asked to do different shows and did a few competitions, and I won. And before I knew it, I had gone from this incompetent, bumbling idiot to a decent male performer. And I've performed with the guy who won Behoff last year, which is the Burlesque Hall of Fame Awards. It's the Oscars of burlesque, and I performed with him, and he was really impressed. Like, he loved what I did and wanted me to enter festivals with him and wanted me to go perform with him. And at that point, you're like, shit, that's as good as it gets.
Yeah,
So,
right.
Yeah. It also helps to be confident in your ridiculousness. I mean, I have no problem starting off as a guy. I have my favorite or signature routine. I start off as a guy in a construction worker garb, and by the end of it, I'm in heels and a dress, and I've attempted makeup, and I pull a foot-long hot dog out, and then I like slapping people around with it.
Hell yeah.
But by the time I've done that, like, everyone's gone through like a big experience. They've gone through the macho guy to the exposed guy to the guy who became what he wanted to be to the arrogant dick so I get a little bit of everything, and that's where I think that male privilege does come in. I performed at Pride this year and I got to headline it, and that was amazing. Like, that was just amazing. I was like a rock star
Yeah.
feeling. So
More than any band experience.
definitely.
I was gonna say, because
Yeah.
you know, like you said earlier,
Mm.
with a band, you might get a little cheer after a song. A cheer. You might
Yeah.
get somebody clapping.
Somewhere going,
Somebody
Yeah!
setting their beer down for a second so they can, or, you know, I'm a big fan of the hold the beer and like clap the
Yeah.
arm, you
Yeah.
know.
Oh God.
I do it all the time.
Yeah.
It's my
You-
signature
you
move.
do it?
Yeah, every time.
Oh,
outta here.
sometimes I'll do this.
Okay.
Nice. That's
I'm that
cute.
guy. I'll clap the glass.
But I tell you what, you want to take it a step further. Start a podcast.
Yeah.
Don't hear shit. I'm talking into the void every week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As
Except
far
for
as
these
we
jerks.
know,
Yeah.
no one's out there listening.
No, we have Jill Glevin sending people on over.
Or there's
Yeah.
tons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all good. So, do you see any similarities in the music life and the burlesque life? Like, there's
yeah.
got to be some
Yeah,
parallels.
there's a ton. I mean, I think being in a band is being in a persona as well. I think it's a band persona. I remember standing on stage with my knees locked, my guitar like 5 inches under my chin, the 3 other guys in the band looking exactly the same. We all look like cardboard cutouts of each other. So there's definitely like a character. You're a character up there, and when you get off stage, you're a character. And when you go to your normal job on Monday, you're back to being the very boring version of yourself that you always are.
I've seen Rockstar.
Yeah.
I know.
Well,
He has like the
Cleaning
mascara
toner.
on or whatever. Yeah.
But Yeah, I think that's the biggest similarity. You do, if you can take the best parts of being something and take that confidence into like anything else that you do. And I think I do that. Like Piccadilly Porter, who's my burlesque persona, he'll argue with people on the phone when I get shitty customer service, but I won't. I'm terrified, you know, like, so I can draw from that. But I think the bigger parallels, I guess, are when you see your name on a banner or a poster, or when you meet someone and they compliment your work and they're not complimenting you, like they're complimenting your persona, and you can disconnect from both of them. But I just think with burlesque, more than anything, you physically connect with the audience. Like they can like your song, and it's great when someone says, "Oh, I like your song," and that's great. But when you physically draw someone in, or you pull them on stage, or in my case, if I rip a t-shirt off and throw it at the guy, and then 2 hours later I see him in the bar and he's still wearing the t-shirt, like that's just awesome, you know. And I just think it's, of all the performing arts, of all the arts that I've seen, it's just, you're on a high all the time. Like when you're at the show, you're just on a high all the time, because you're performing from the minute you walk in until the minute you go home, not the in between sets, and then you let yourself out of character to drink your water and fuck around with your echo pedal for 10 seconds.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, well, it's one of those, it's one of the art forms that you can literally get in with the crowd and like, I won't say touch them, but that sounds creepy.
Interact.
You can interact with them like on a very personal level.
Which to me is the most terrifying idea in the entire world.
Yeah.
Now, not that there are parallels and they're not to misconstrue what you do with stripping, even though you joked around, said you were a stripper. Yeah. But back when we were younger and we're going to strip clubs, because that was the thing you could do at that age. You know, I went a handful of times, haven't been in probably 10 years. A friend of mine and his girlfriend and we went to this strip club, and it was her birthday. She got pulled on stage, and the stripper sat her down in a chair, and she was dancing around her and stuff, and it was all well and good, you know. Then the stripper went behind her and ripped my friend's girlfriend's shirt open, exposing her bare breast to everybody in the strip club. I've never seen somebody more terrified. Now, of course, you'd never do anything like that.
No.
But that just fuels my scare. Like, I will never come see you, Parker. I love you. You're like my new best friend. Yeah. No, I'm kidding. Yeah. But that just, it's terrifying to me when I'm watching a band and they make eye contact with me. Yeah. I'm just like, no. Or a comedian. Good God. If you go see local stand-up. Yeah. Like, we know a lot of people in the stand-up scene. We've had a lot on our show. But if I go and see like Spencer, and I'm up, you know, I'm sitting there in the crowd drinking my beer, and he looks over at me, I'm like, oh God. And I know it's like just being conceited, because like, you don't talk about me. I don't matter. But so terrifying to be part of this act. Have you ever had anybody like just shut down?
I've had the best experiences with that, and I've had the worst experiences with that. I host a couple of shows, and it is like stand up. Like, you have to engage a bunch of people who, unless they're staring at that fucking hot chick on stage, it is kind of hard to keep their attention. And you can lose, like, crowds are very fickle at times. But if you're a good MC or a good comedian or whatever, you can keep them engaged. But sometimes that's the hard bit. Like, they'll disconnect, and you're like, fuck, how do I like reconnect with them? So I've had a negative experience in that. And then I've connected with people in the audience, and I have people come up to me like, it's his birthday. Like, go make him feel weird.
Right.
You know? And or you'll just, I always like to pick on the enthusiastic person in the crowd, and they're always enthusiastic people there, and they make the show. And at the end of the show, when you're introducing, or like just bringing everyone back on, we're all clapping, and we're all like, that person was a part of the show. You get to invite them up, like, well done to the drunk girl with the red dress on, like,
right.
But they love it, and the crowd, once you involve them, they are part of the show. If you can make everyone feel like they're part of the show, and that's the sign of a good host and a good troupe, like, everyone just feels totally connected. But then there are the touch too much, you know, like, you're not allowed to touch,
right?
And I'm a dude, so I probably don't give a shit as much, but it's always this fucking chicken eating protein shake dude trying to like stuff a 5 down my pants, and like, fuck off, man.
Right.
You know,
Keep it. Yeah, just keep it.
You're okay, bro. I earn more money than you do anyway, so don't worry about it.
Yeah. That was going to lead me to my next question. Has anything ever gone terribly wrong? Maybe not just to you, or if you've been at a show and you've seen something go terribly wrong?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say terribly wrong. I've never really had much go wrong. I have seen, but I don't have exquisite breasts, so I don't have that to worry about. I have seen pasties drop, and that's terrifying because you can get legally in trouble for that. So I've seen a few of those, and the girls react immensely well. The worst stuff that has ever gone wrong is just drunk idiots. Like, that's the worst. That's the only thing that I've ever really seen go wrong, and that makes my blood boil. Like, and I'm 5'4" and I weigh 150 pounds. I really can't do a great deal about it, if I'm honest. But that makes my blood boil. Like, that's the only thing that, when that goes wrong, that makes me angry.
Yeah.
Like,
and to a less extent, like I've been to comedy shows where somebody in the crowd, you know, it's one thing if the comedian deals with like a quick heckle.
Yeah.
You know, but when somebody is there, and the old joke is like the bachelorette parties are the worst, or the frat boys, you know, there. But it's like, dude, this is not about you.
Yeah.
Like, just if you want to be like, if you yell something out and then the comedian plays off of it, okay, that's fun. But if it's like a constant thing, like we've been to comedy shows where people do that, and it's just like, I did not pay, or I'm not here for this.
Yeah.
Like, this is not your show.
I had that recently. I was hosting a show, and this bunch of army boys came in, and for the best part, they were a lot of fun. But as they walked in and I'm hosting the show, they're all very clean cut, and they've all got tashes. So I make a joke about, like, don't try and sell drugs to those guys because they all look like narcs.
Yeah.
And they're all playing along with me for the whole thing. But this one guy is getting a bit butthurt that I'm picking on them. And then he starts, like, shouting obscenities at me, and I don't mind because I can laugh it off. Also, I'm the one with a microphone with 100 people who think I'm the best thing in the world right now. So and I just got to the point where I just kept everything he said. I had a comeback for, and I just kept chipping away, and I realized I was being a dick. Like I was taking it too far, and at the end of it, one of his army buddies came up to me, and I thought he was going to kick my ass. He was like massive. And he said the show was great, and he shook my hand, and he said like he was sorry for his friend. And he was really apologetic. And that was really nice. But that made me worry a bit. Like, that's the only problem. You do get some people that just want to make it about them. And there's an amazing performer. Her name is Foxy Chanel Page. And she is a drag queen. And I've been at shows before, and people have tried to either touch her or dance with her, and I've never seen anyone just crush a man's spirit
Really?
quicker. And it just makes me want to, like, kiss her on the mouth. Amazing.
That's worth the price of admission alone, just to see her shut somebody down like that. I'd be like, holy shit.
This guy tried to, like, get in her shit a few weeks ago or a few months ago. So she just pulled his pants down in the middle of the bar. And I just thought that was a baller move.
Yeah.
Baller move. And he got kicked out with no pants on. Greatest thing I've ever seen.
Nice.
But, like, I think that's what's nice about this kind of art form or being in a band is there are always going to be dicks. There are always going to be people that can't handle their drown night. But you are surrounded by all these people who are super supportive. So you can stand up for yourself and for your friends without having to be an idiot or having to be pushy or violent or anything. And I think that's just what makes, for me, OKC, this very family artistic bubble, just the best thing I've experienced in my adult life.
Yeah, the shitty people are minimal in comparison to the really good people here. I mean, you'll see them around from time to time, but for the most part, you can go to a bar or go to a show and there won't be any assholes. As much as if you went to like a, show in LA or a show in like Dallas or something, there's going to be...
Yeah, most people are so good here that I have to start hating things about my friends.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh, he talks too fucking much, or God, he's a braggart, he's annoying. But like, they're my friends. Like, if that's all I have to bitch about, Oklahoma's okay. All right?
I think people are very supportive. If you can connect with someone, they'll come to your shows, man. Mm-hmm. They'll take photos of you, and they'll be your advertising, and they'll just be your raving fan. And that's just something to be really proud of, I think. So I love it here. I like being an artist here.
Speaking of, what's coming up for the Dust Bowl Dolls?
We have 4 shows a month.
Damn.
Yeah, and then we have, some of us do out-of-town stuff, like my wife and I often perform in Tulsa or Dallas. So we have a show basically every week.
Yeah.
We do them at La Braza, we do them at Bunker Club, we do them at R&J's, and we do them at The Flea. And I wish I knew what days they were on, but I would swing you to our Instagram.
There you go. And what is that?
That is just Dust Bowl Dolls. Yeah.
So at Dust Bowl Dolls.
At Dust Bowl Dolls.
Cool.
And the benefit of it all is there are over different days, and it's like every week. And if you want to go somewhere nice and take your girlfriend somewhere nice, you can take her to La Braza. If you want to go get drunk, you take her to The Flea. If you want to eat brunch and have a good Sunday, you go to R&J. So they're really well planned out. They're really nice venues, and everyone's a really good sport. So yeah, but I would follow that because I can't pimp them out enough because I'm an average looking English boy, but there are some seriously beautiful, talented women in our troupe who are way more interesting than I am. And they post more photos of them than they do me. So the Instagram is a good follow.
There you go.
No.
Yeah, check it out.
Yeah.
Just did. What up?
Are you on there?
Yeah, I
All
just
right.
followed it right now.
And what's your Instagram while we're on the subject?
I have a few.
Oh, you do?
I have a few. I have my personal one, which is how I ended up here. My wife and I met on Instagram. And then I have my own Piccadilly Porter page. But I recently started an art project. And that's kind of where my attention's going to. It's called Hot Love Beads. And it's fuse bead art. And
Okay, that my mind went dirty when you first said that.
that's
Okay,
what,
great.
I
Sounds shitty.
It is. I actually bought one a piece.
Oh.
What?
I call this Eat, Pray, Love.
Nice.
Whoa.
That is crazy.
Yeah,
That's
But
awesome.
I've recently started that. I bought these fuse beads for my daughter. In the bid that she
Check
would
that Joker out.
in the bid that she would like become concentrated on something. And in the end, after like 2 hours of her playing with some beads, I had made myself, my friend, like a little thing. And before I knew it, after like 3 days of doing it, I was like, I can't draw like for shit. I
Right,
can't draw
right.
a stick man. I'm terrified when my daughter is like, hey dad, no, not gonna happen. Go see your mom. But
Dude, this rules.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is so sick.
I'm good at that.
Yeah.
Like really fucking good at that. So I tried to do the mature thing, and I waited till I had content, and I waited till I had a bunch of pieces, and then I launched an Instagram, and now I can't keep up with it. Like I sell everything as soon as I make it, and I've got to keep closing commissions down, and so I have this new art form, which is really weird, and for me, it's like I love it because I get to say what I want. Like I get to say like I just made mainly it's art, pictures, but today I made a do not disturb sign that just says "fuck off, you cunt." Because
We need that for the door here.
But that's what I think when someone knocks on the door. I don't think "do not disturb." I think "fuck off, you cunt."
That's exactly
Yeah.
what I was thinking yesterday.
Yeah,
Around
and I
6 o'clock.
don't blame you. Like, why is this guy and his wife's jeans at my front door? You know? So I got that's the Instagram that I'm focusing on the most at the moment. So I love social media for just getting yourself out there. And again, it's just the byproduct of being in Oklahoma. Like, you start a project and you can run with it. And
Definitely.
I ran with that. I've only been doing it like 6 months, but sold everything I've ever made. And
Awesome.
I went from like tiny little things to The Last Supper or something. So I've done some cool shit. Like, I love that. So that's
It seems like the bigger pieces would be very therapeutic to do
It
after a
is.
while. Like I feel like I just looking at that, like I could just zone out and just get in this this
why
good mindset when I'm
That's-
doing that, something like
put
that.
my kids to bed at 7:30. My wife, she runs her own business, and in the evening is when she catches up on her social media, posting photos of the day, stories, responding to messages. And I found I would just watch reruns of The Office and fuck around on my phone all night. So when I found that I put my phone down, and 3 hours can pass, and I've done something with my 3 hours, and it's very cathartic. And that's amazing as an adult, because I forgot how to do that. I can't watch a film without getting IMDb out, finding out where everyone was in.
Yep.
I do the exact same thing.
Yeah,
Like, I
man.
know that person from somewhere.
Yeah.
And then
I don't think I've watched a film outside of going to the movies without constantly being on my phone.
Oh yeah, dude, I can't do anything without it, and I'm glad you brought that up because I was just thinking about this yesterday. I can't do anything without pulling up Twitter, pulling up Instagram, pulling up whatever, IMDb. I do that all the time, or I'll hear a band, and I'll have to like read about them right away. And I think it's great when you have an Instagram and you're promoting something that you do, a hobby or a job or something like that. But I gotta stop this mindless scrolling.
Yeah.
When I was homesick yesterday before you arrived, I was laying in bed just scrolling the same feed I already looked at.
Yeah.
And the thought crossed my mind, like, was I designed for this? Were we, in general designed for this? And it started to make me depressed.
I totally agree. Instagram does this thing now where when you get to a certain point, it says, "Oh, you're all refreshed now. You've already seen all this."
Yeah.
But it doesn't stop me going back and looking at exactly the same photos.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck am I looking at this cheeseburger again for? I'm not interested in this at all.
I'm not even hungry.
You know?
I'm not even hungry. This isn't doing anything for me.
Well, the same thing with like the stories. Like now that they've introduced that, like it's a whole other realm, and it's like at the top of the page. So you click on every single fucking person's stories.
Yeah.
Stories can fuck off.
Well, and
for
they
me.
just
I don't fuck
cycle.
with that at all.
They just cycle. Like you could start it, set your phone down, and come back a half an hour later, and it's still playing.
Yeah.
And it does the thing where I look at them all the time, and I see the same ones over, and I sit there and watch them.
Yeah.
And I just feel like such a primate.
I think Instagram, and I know that I'm not a spokesperson for Instagram. I feel like I sound like I am. I think Instagram made the world care about photography. Like, granted, a lot of it is selfies and shit like that.
Right.
Yeah.
But I
Cheeseburgers.
but I actually think the world got better at photography to the point now where professional photographers for weddings and all that kind of stuff, it's a really tough industry to break into because we all got better because we were all actually posting photography. And I think what Stories has done, it's just like reverse that. It's now given us a forum to post shit.
Oh yeah.
Like I post the worst stuff on my stories because I'm like, well, maybe someone will think that's relevant. Maybe I'm not the only person that thinks that this purple car that says Purple Rain on it, like maybe I think that's cool and I want to post it, but I'm too embarrassed to post it on my actual Instagram. So,
right. It'll go away.
So now I have like a level of cool who I want everyone to remember me by. But
So that's what it's for. I was trying to figure out like, what's the fucking difference in a story?
It's for your trash
and
or
a
Instagram
gram?
post.
Yeah, it's because it's got a 24-hour expiration date
And
on
it
it,
dies.
and it's gone.
I don't even
It's
know
gone
how
forever.
do
So-
you post a story?
Well, no, you go to your. Well, you go to your Instagram, and on the top thing where your picture is, you
Yeah.
click on that, and then you can put a lot of cool shit on it. I will say that,
Uh-huh.
but it just seems like it's the same thing. Why not just make Instagram do that?
Maybe you want it to go away. What if you're in a band or let's
That's
say
true.
a burlesque
And
troupe,
it's a dated thing,
and you want to put it up, and it's right there at the top. It's not lost in the feed, and it goes away once
this is
the thing's
today.
over.
Yeah, and if it's something to promote today, I get that. Yeah,
We should start doing that with boys.
More
New
stories.
episode. Listen,
Yeah.
please.
Please! I think social media has evolved and de-evolved and re-evolved. And I think Stories is great in the sense that, we are being active and we are still posting and we are still believing that what we're doing is worth posting. And, I hear kids now like, oh, I'm talking about Facebook. And like, you're on Facebook? Shit, you loser.
Yeah. Like
And
Facebook is like when my grandpa talked about having dirt floors when he was a kid.
Yeah.
Right.
But we have been sitting on this Facebook, Twitter, Instagram kind of three-legged table for a long time.
Yeah.
And I often wonder, what's next? There was that Vero app, which, they all come real quick and then just fucking bite the dust.
Yeah.
But what will be next? Is it going to take a technological breakthrough to usher in the next wave of social media
I
and
don't
connectivity?
think Facebook's ever going to go away.
No.
Much like Walmart's never going to go away
No.
because Facebook has integrated itself so deep into everyone's life that no one's going to overtake that. Like there might be a really good mom and pop shop that you buy like your fresh produce from, but you're still going to go to Walmart to buy
Toilet paper.
Yeah, it's not going away. You're just going to use it less.
I think it's what Facebook did, which was genius, was one, buy out everything they fucking could.
Oh,
Yeah.
hell
Facebook
yeah.
and Instagram, they're gonna be fine. But they also integrated. They noticed other things that people were doing other than social media. So people were buying things on Craigslist, like, well, let's do a marketplace.
Yeah.
You can buy your shit here, like all different kinds of the Messenger. you can just message from here.
And
And
then-
that's mostly what I use is
Yeah.
Messenger to talk, Robbie or
Yeah.
friends like on
Yeah.
Messenger. But
But you can also sign up for things through Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how the fuck
Yeah,
they got
Which
that sweet
I
ass
think
deal.
that is fucking creepy. Anytime I go on someone's like sign up with Facebook, we're like, I don't think so.
Yeah.
You don't need to know where I'm at.
Yeah.
I think there's a couple of directions it will go in. It'll take over LinkedIn. Like, I don't know how, but it will.
Yeah.
Like, LinkedIn's fucking creepy because it tells you when someone looks at your profile.
Yeah,
and I don't
dude.
like that.
No, I don't
know?
want to know. I
Like-
do not want to know.
Does it tell you who looks at
Yeah.
your Oh.
And that's why, like,
Ugh.
and if I'm recruiting for people for work, like, I'll never use LinkedIn because I don't want them to know that they come to the interview and like, I looked at your LinkedIn.
Is it,
You're a
is it-
stripper.
is it because you don't want to get their hopes up?
There's a little bit of that.
Okay.
And
Or just the creepy factor
no,
in general?
I think it's the getting the hopes up. I mean, it's rewarding. Like, someone came across your profile and checked it out because you are in an industry or you have a position that looks worth checking out. But in the same vein, you're like, okay, we checked it out, but you didn't follow it up. So am I shit or am I great? Like,
Yeah.
but I think that Google or Facebook are going to get so rich at some point, one of them will buy the other one out. And when
That'd be
Google
intense.
becomes the social media or Facebook becomes the search engine, I think everything else will fail. Like, I just don't think anything's going to survive that. It's
Like
going to
when what were like all these companies merge, like when AT&T merged with who the fuck was it?
Singular.
Singular.
Yeah.
And then they made this like, and they all eventually. I know it's cyberpunk and it's maybe too dystopian future, but maybe there's a reason why all those like sci-fi movies, there's always one corporation that rules everything.
The
And
megacorp.
Yeah, dude.
Eventually,
Yeah.
it's going to come down to a megacorp,
Yeah.
and it's not going to be Facebook because the name doesn't sound good enough, but Google might.
yeah.
I don't know why Google sounds better than Facebook, but it totally does.
Well,
Google robots, Facebook robots, fuck off.
Google does have robots.
Yeah, exactly, dude.
They
Fuck
have
that
robots.
noise.
Yeah.
I think there's just something creepy about Facebook as well, though.
Yeah.
I know. I don't know what it is. I think it might actually be Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah.
I think there's just something shady about it. And the
What
fact,
started out shady? The
Yeah.
whole when your
Fake as
business
fuck.
starts shady,
Yeah.
it's just going to continue being shady.
Yeah, I've seen The Social Network.
Yeah.
I haven't.
He looks like a goofball, but he looks
Another
like a
one on the list.
goofball who would steal all your things. And he
Yeah.
has
Well,
your
like-
identity.
What was that video he posted like a couple of weeks ago, like a month ago? It's him barbecuing with his friends, like trying to
Yeah.
look normal,
Yeah.
but it's the most not normal looking
No,
thing
dude.
ever.
Yeah, he's an alien. That's
Oh,
what it
Right.
is.
Well, same with Elon Musk. You know, that I know he's in the news recently because of the Joe Rogan, where he held some weed smoke in his mouth for a few seconds on Joe Rogan, which I sat down. I don't listen to every Rogan episode or watch it, but I actually sat down and watched that one. It was
Yeah.
like 3 hours long.
Jesus.
It was. Did you watch it?
I watched it.
It's fucking intense, man.
Whew, yeah, it's something else.
Like they got deep quick between like digging into the earth and all this other stuff. It was just like it blew my mind. And you know what? I didn't even notice the weed thing until after I watched it, and then I saw memes of it. And I just thought, yeah, he smokes weed with people on that show all the time.
yeah,
But because it was Elon Musk, he didn't even inhale.
yeah.
Dude,
Like he straight up like he hit it. First of all, he held it like a cigarette.
he Gallaghered it.
Right.
He did, yeah. And then he just pulled it into his mouth and he goes, "Is that a joint?" And it's the most robotic delivery I've ever heard.
Every answer he gave or anything he talked about, it seemed either robotic or like a Klaatu alien creature. Like, well, I'm here for humanity. I want to help humanity, but
It was incredible
Yeah.
to
Didn't
me.
he just throw a car into space?
Yeah, pretty much.
He smokes weed, guys.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
what?
No, he doesn't. He doesn't.
What?
He goes, "I think I've tried this before," and Joe Rogan goes, "Yeah." He
he
had some-
goes, come on, man.
yeah, he goes, "Come
Yeah.
on."
Yeah.
No, he hasn't.
Please.
Yeah, but the crazy. My point being, that's 3 hours of just knowledge and compassion. I felt compassion from this guy that you wouldn't think would have any compassion, and he always gets painted with these different brushes. But all everybody can talk about is the 10 seconds of him kind of hitting a blunt.
Right.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Who cares?
Yeah.
Why is it a big deal? Their stocks dropped like 10 or 15%.
Yeah.
Yawn.
It'll
Fucking
come back.
sh-
It'll
Time
come
to
back.
buy.
Of course it will.
Yeah.
What? Whatever.
I think this meme culture though kind of makes everything either great or shit.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Venus
Yeah.
Williams is getting all this shit, like for the US. I think it was US Open recently. She's getting all this shit for like basically calling out this terrible judge, and everyone's like, "This is appalling," and she shouldn't be like that. Well, on the flip side of the coin, guys get away with it all the time. All the time. She's right.
Yeah.
She's right to stand up for it. But memes have made it terrible.
Oh yeah.
Like I think, and I'm not an old fussy dude. Like if I'm bored, I will be Googling memes of cats.
Sure,
But
it's what we do.
Yeah.
That's where we are.
Memes stress me out because I don't know what a meme means. Like, am I using this meme appropriately?
The answer is probably no.
Yeah.
At that
Yeah.
point.
At least you're saying meme and not like meme.
Meme.
What is
Yeah.
that meme?
Or like GIFs. Am I using this GIF right? Or do people even use GIFs anymore? Is that done?
Oh,
Like-
I do. I love the integration into the phone now.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah.
But again, I know what I'm using. I know what I mean when I'm using this GIF. Do you know what I mean when I'm using this GIF?
I know what you mean. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
Because I send more gifts to you than anybody. I know I send you quite a few too. But
I'm down with the GIFs. I struggle with the emojis because that feels like a 12-year-old thing to do. But my wife does it all the time. And if I don't respond with an emoji, like that's the
There's something
tone
wrong.
setter.
Yeah,
There's something
that's
wrong.
relationship
Yeah.
communication. If my wife sends me an emoji, which she rarely does, but if she does, I know I have to respond with an emoji
Yeah.
that can.
equal or greater to the
Yeah.
received emoji.
I still do the like smiley faces with like what a colon and like a
Old
Yeah.
school emojis.
Yeah.
Oh, like the
Vintage emojis.
or the QWERTY text kind of emojis. Yeah.
And like a few months ago, I had someone call me out on it, and I'm just like, "Hey, it's what I'm used to. I'm not gonna open up a whole other thing to do the same thing."
But you're on an iPhone, right?
No.
Okay.
Not right now.
On iPhones, you can do the old school thing, and it'll pop up as an actual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you don't get that.
But that's
on here.
lazy. You know,
It is.
that's lazy
It's lazy.
emoji. No.
Okay, this is my emoji bit closer, all right?
Yeah.
The last thing. Why so many? I mean, when am I ever going to send a train? There's no trains here.
Yeah.
Like,
No train.
No, I really, no, that's hack as fuck. But like, see, there's a lot of them that I don't even know what they are.
Oh, like the wingdings and widgets and shit.
Yeah.
That's I'm like, what is that about?
Yeah.
Who's that for?
Yeah.
When am I going to send a smiley face with no mouth?
I think when I need one, it's not there.
Yeah.
I mean, if I ever need a black, grey-haired Dracula, I know I can get one of those.
Or a Dracula with
You know.
green skin.
Yeah.
Alien Dracula.
And if ever I'm like, I want, curry tonight, there is not a curry emoji, and that's disrespectful in my mind.
Yeah, but there's like 18 different kinds of speakers.
Yeah.
Or something weird like that.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I just need
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Just
It's
need
only
one.
need
Everyone
some.
knows what a speaker is.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Well, man, I think we're going to wrap up. We're hitting that time. Parker, thank you so much, man,
My
for coming
pleasure.
on. It's been
Yeah.
a pleasure. Thanks for sharing your story. I feel like I've learned a lot tonight.
Learn
Yeah,
some
same.
things.
And thanks for listening. We will see you guys next week.
Bye.